Right, so you really don't need a lot for this card. You can decorate it up or decorate it down however you want. I'm literally going to go simple. I'm going to stamp on the front and then that's it. If you want to decorate your side panels, you can. If you're using double-sided paper that maybe has a pattern on the back, then you would need to cut a white triangle to go on the inside so that you can then write. I've chosen this paper, which is actually not a Christmas paper. So this is actually from the first edition Sweet Nothings pad, and it's this linen watercolour one. But I really like the colour of it, and I like the fact it was white on the back, plus it's a 200 GSM. You do really want to go for a 200 minimum GSM for your card, preferably a little bit more, preferably a 240. You don't want it too floppy because it needs to be able to stand up by itself. But yeah, so that's the papers I'm using. And I'm also using a stamp which was in a craft magazine in 2021. So this was the set. I think it was I can't even guess which magazine it was in, but there was a whole load of different ones, and it came with this, and then there was another one as well. There was quite a few like sets all in the same magazine, and so I just thought this tree would be perfect. If you haven't got a Christmas tree stamp or you haven't got a Christmas tree die, don't worry, because you can still do it, and you can, because of the shape of it, you can make it look like a Christmas tree. Just add some little gems on it. It's absolutely fine. So you don't need to have stamps on dies. If you do have a stamp, maybe a different one to this, or maybe you have a die and it's slightly different, then you can adjust your shape to fit if you want. But I thought I'd do it so that then anybody can make it, regardless of if you've got the stamp or not. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of card. So this piece of card measures 7 inches by 6 inches, okay? And so all we're going to do is going to take a ruler, and along the bottom of the card, let me put that nice and straight, you're going to mark at 1 3/4 inches from either side. So 1 3/4 here, and then 1 3/4 here. Okay, so I've got a little mark there and a little mark there. If you want to do this on the back, it might be better. But I'm just doing it on the front because of the way I'm going to score it and bend it. And then up the sides, let's turn this around, up the sides, this is my bottom of my card. At the sides, you're going to measure from the bottom up and mark 1 1/4 on this side, and also 1 1/4 on the other side. So left and right, up from the bottom, measure and mark at 1 1/4. Okay, so there and there. Then along the top, we're going to measure and mark at 3 1/2 inches, which is halfway. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line. If you want to do it at the back, you can. It might be better actually. You're going to draw a line from your centre mark at the top to this mark on the side. So you're going to draw a line down there, because you're going to cut along there in a minute, and you do the same on this side. This is why it probably is best to do this on the back, but never mind, I've started now. And then we're going to join up this mark along here to this mark there. So we're going to make join these two up, and again we will be cutting along these in a minute. I'm just marking on them on so that you can see where we are going to be cutting. So like that. And then we want to bring in a cork board and also a scoring tool. If you want to use a scoreboard, you can, but I prefer to use my cork board. Please excuse my marks. I don't know quite what happened there. And then we're going to take a ruler and your scoring pal thing, and you're going to go from that marker on the bottom up to the top middle, and you're going to score a line. Try not to overshoot that mark at the top. Okay, and then we're going to do the same here. So we're going to go from that mark there, and we're going to go up to the middle, and again just try not to overshoot it, try not to cross over your lines. Okay, so that's what you should end up with. Okay, so now before we cut this out, if you go along and just score your lines, just makes it a little bit easier for when you come to cut and stuff. It's easier if you score now rather than cutting and then not score, a fold. It's easier if you fold now rather than cutting it and doing it later. Folding it later. I'm very tired. My brain is not working. Right, so the other thing I'm also going to do while I've still got it like this is I'm going to go ahead and stamp it, because again I find it easier to do that now Bear with, it's going to be upside down just because it's the easiest way of me getting it in. You've also got more to put your little magnets on if you do it before you cut it. So I'm going to place my tree on the top. Now, as I said, if you don't have a stamp that fits, or you don't have this stamp, then you can just skip this part. If you do, then this is the bit where you're going to stamp. So I'm just going to do that like that. And then I was wondering about heat embossing, but I don't want to warp my card. So I think I'm just gonna go for black ink, and then I'm gonna add some little gems, and that will then decorate it up. But you could heat emboss. I just really don't want to risk warping it, because sometimes that happens with me and heat embossing. So we're just gonna go ahead, and I'm just gonna stamp it. You could stamp it with white ink, you could stamp it with a different colour ink. You do want to make sure it's nice and central. Mine's not, just noticed. Got a little bit of a wider line there than I have on that side. It's not too bad, it's not too bad, so hopefully we'll be all right. Okay, so now we've done that. So now what we want to do is go ahead and cut down our pencil lines. So I'm just going to go ahead now and cut down here. Okay, so I've cut along, and then you will find, if you give that a bit of a fold, you'll find it stands up lovely. And so that is basically your tree. That's basically your card. Really super easy. I mean, ridiculously easy. So I'm now going to go ahead, I'm going to add some little gems on here and just zhuzh it up a little bit and make it look a bit fancy. Okay, so there's your finished tree. Just put some little gems on it. So as you can see, it's sort of sparkly, just adds it a little bit of interest. Stands up really nice. And it fit, because it folds in like that. So it folds flat to fit in an envelope. The height is 6, so you could put it in an envelope for a 6x4, because it only measures 3.5 across the bottom, so just a normal 6x4 envelope. If you wanted to size this up, you could, and obviously if you want to add a greeting on it, you can. I'd probably just leave it like that, and then do my greeting on the inside. If you want to do panels on the sides here, you can. I didn't, because it's such a weird triangle shape, so I decided not to bother with that. In fact, I think that's probably a right angle, but anyway, I decided not to bother. But yeah, and then you've got space on the back there to write. So yeah, so that's the card. So I just thought it was quite interesting. As I said, this was the original that I saw last Christmas that I was given, and I was like, oh, I like that. Flattened it out. Yes, please. This one's a bit bigger. So this one measures, I think it will fit in a slimline card envelope. So this is 3.5 by 8. I just thought that was a bit excessive. So, but if you wanted to, you could go with that. So flattened, this measures 7, well, almost 7 across, 6 3/4 across. And I noticed that they've gone in 1 3/4 and up. Sorry, in 1 3/4, and I think they went up by 3/4 of an inch. But that didn't work for this size card. So yeah, so you can have a play around, but that's the general idea. Obviously, like I said, that flattens quite nicely at the back there, so that's how they've done theirs. So obviously they've figured it out. But ours on the back here flattens down. Oh yeah, mine does pretty much as well. Almost flattens down at the back there. So yeah, so that's the card anyway. Hope you'll have a go. Just really liked it. I've been waiting all year to do this, because as I said, I was given that card last year. So yes, I've waited all this time to do, but I just think it's really nice. There's a lot of things you can do. If you haven't got a stamp or die, it doesn't matter. So yeah, so I hope you liked the video. Please like and leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. I want to hit 15k as soon as I can, really. Definitely by the end of the year, but preferably before that. So yeah, so please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.